Welcome Helldivers, my name is Gun, and today I'm going to be breaking down the CB-9 exploding crossbow. I've been talking a lot of shit about the Democratic Detonation Warbond, and I don't know, now I'm probably have a better rating for this thing, honestly, compared to when I first started, because this crossbow is, I'm telling you, this thing hits different. The CB-9 exploding crossbow, it's a standout weapon. It deals significant damage and it has a really nice blast radius to it. Also, it could pierce through multiple enemies and it could bypass armor. That's like one of the biggest reasons why this thing dominates the fields against the Terminids. And it's very versatile, meaning that you could mix and match your support weapons so you don't have to really rely on only your support weapon. It's good for taking out crowds of enemies that are closing in on you. Although, it is a little frustrating when you have to kill things such as Shriekers, but then again, just switch to your either secondary, which I don't recommend. Just switch to your support weapon that can mow them down pretty easily. Okay, so going over the pros and cons. So I'm going to start off with the pros first. Obviously what I just said, the blast radius is very beneficial, especially when you're being bombarded by a lot of enemies. So the rate of fire is actually not too bad. I wish it could shoot a little bit faster, or if it would have a like auto mode, which I know sounds a little crazy, but I think that'd be fucking fun to use. If you just had an auto mode, kind of like how the auto cannon, you could just shoot full auto. That'd be fun. I would have loved if this thing had bolts that would stick to the enemy and you would be able to detonate it, and you could have like a maximum of 10 that you could have before they start detonating on themselves. I kind of feel like I want to be like Van Helsing. I know I'm a little old. If you know, you know. But yeah, I think that would have made this weapon a little bit more unique, but it's good regardless though. Also, a pro about this weapon is you could actually shoot the spore trees, the objective ones, and it'll take it out in 3 bolts pretty fast and long distance as well. Another really cool thing about this weapon is it doesn't have any damage drop off, although you do have to compensate for the aim. So you will have to aim a little higher, kind of like the grenade launcher. So it's a little weird getting used to, but when you get the hang of it, you'll understand. Okay guys, so now moving on to the cons. So there was a good amount of cons for this weapon. One thing I found is you have to watch out where you shoot. You have like a 4 or 5 feet in front of you. If you shoot the ground, you'll be damaged by it. You could even die if it's like 3 or 4 feet. It'll kill you every time. Another really weird thing I found with it is when I shot it and I was in the blast radius where it wouldn't kill me, it would yank me in. Almost like I'm being sucked in by like a damn black hole. I just got sucked in, and then the enemies just kind of just look at me like I'm a dummy, and they just cut the shit out of me as a Terminid or a meat saw. It's very annoying, so that's one thing you'll have to watch out with. So that's why I would recommend you pairing this thing with a shield generator, just because at least you'll be able to tank one shot with that thing. So also, when this thing is going up against Shriekers, it is a nightmare, clearly, or even against the gunships. This thing is so difficult to use. I would shoot at a gunship and it does not penetrate armor, so it can against the brood commanders for whatever reason. I think they're medium armor, that's why, but against heavy armor it does not impact at all. Okay, and one of the biggest things to me, guys, that I found that bugged me a little bit about this weapon, considering it is an exploding crossbow, is it cannot destroy the Terminid holes for whatever reason. I thought that was strange. You cannot destroy the vents on the backs, such as the you can't destroy a tank. I tried shooting a tank like around, I'd say 12 bolts, and it didn't do anything. The smoke didn't come up. I tried it against the Automaton towers, nothing was working. And I also tried it against the broadcast towers. Usually it takes like 1 grenade, impact grenade, and it will destroy it. But this thing, it just, for some weird reason, it just doesn't work against it. I shot too many shots at the damn broadcast tower. It didn't work. So that's the one thing that you'll have to watch out for. When using this thing, it is for crowd control. I feel like this thing is the best against crowd control, without a doubt, considering it is a primary. However, when it comes down to the heavy armor or you having to destroy things, you'll definitely have to rely on your support weapon or even your grenades when it comes to destroying heavy armored enemies or when destroying bug holes or anything like that. Okay guys, I'm going to go through this a little quick just because there is a lot of enemies. Okay, starting off with the Terminids. Okay guys, so against the Scavengers, Bile Scavengers, Pouncers, and Hunters, it usually takes one shot. However, sometimes I found that the Hunters would take me 2 shots because I would shoot the ground instead of shooting them, just because you get I honestly felt like it had more of an effect if it hit the ground because it would take out multiple enemies. But in all honesty, it's just me. So 2 shots against the Warriors. So these gray guys, right? I found this one was really good against them as well. It would take me 1 shot to the head, it would decapitate them, but sometimes shooting at the ground it would take 2 shots. Still amazing against them. Okay, on to the Bile spewers, the fucking acid guys, right? Took me 3 shots, sometimes 4, so it's in between 3 to 4. I aimed at the face most of the time. I didn't shoot at the butt. Although, like the grenade launcher, it only takes 2 shots to impact and it's dead. Alrighty guys, so the Brood Commanders and the Hive Defenders, these are the heavily armored guys. The Hive Defenders, it only took me 2 shots. I have a feeling the reason why that's happening is because the blast radius is hitting the back side of it when it's hitting in front, which is weird. But I think it has like some type of pulling effect almost, and it always takes it out with 2 shots to 3, so very useful against the Hive Defenders. Against the Brood Commanders, that took around 4 to 5 shots, and that's aiming directly at its head or the leg, and it was good though because it would push it back every time they would try to charge at you, so it would kind of give you time to even reload if you needed to. Now onto the Shriekers. Again, this thing, it'll definitely take out a Shrieker with 1 shot, but I do not recommend this. Shriekers always fight in packs, so you'll consistently be getting targeted by a group of enemies just flying at you, so don't even try to use this thing. I blew myself up trying to aim at it and shoot it, and it charged right down at me, and yeah, I died. My fault. Okay, against Stalkers, this thing's actually really good against Stalkers. It took me 3 shots to the Stalker. However, there was one time where it took me around 8 shots, which I thought was a little strange, but I think it's because I was shooting it at the ground and not directly at the enemy. So against Stalkers, try to make sure you hit direct impact with it, and it'll usually take around 3 shots, if not probably 4 or 5. Alrighty, so on to the Chargers, not the San Diego type. Alright, so okay, so the Chargers, it's so weird. I've had multiple different scenarios where I actually took out a Charger in 4 shots, which it sounds fucking crazy, I know, but I managed to do. I think I was shooting it in the back of the leg on the weakest point, and it was working every time. However, it's such a hard spot to hit, so around, I would say 8 shots it would take me to kill it if you shot it on the exposed butt, or even if you try to shoot under it, because when you shoot under it, the blast radius will hit under its stomach and it'll hit its exposed spots. So pretty good against it, not bad considering it is a primary. It is pretty good. Alright guys, on to the Bile Titan. Oh my god, I apologize, I did not complete this. I tried using all the bolts that it came with, and it just was not dropping, and I kept getting killed by so many enemies. But I have a feeling all the bolts that you have in your weapon, not 6, I'm saying all of them, every single bolt you have when reloading, I think that's as much as you need to kill one of these things. Again, I apologize for not trying, that's my fault. But I do not recommend using the CB-9 against it. I tried. Automaton Time. Okay guys, so against all the foot soldiers, such as the Commissars, Troopers, Marauders, and Raiders, 1 shot straight to the ground, you could take out a good amount, 4 or 5 of them, depending how close they are. So I definitely would use this when you're trying to take out groups of enemies. Scout Striders, damn. So sometimes I have no idea what's going on with this weapon. It's a little inconsistent at times, but sometimes I would 1-shot it, and I think it's just the location. I think I shot it on the side and the blast radius would hit it. However, I did shoot it direct impact, and it did kill him with 1 shot as well. But then again, there was another time where I had It took me 3 shots hitting it direct impact, and it finally dropped it. So still not bad against the Scout Striders. So Berserkers, this thing is actually really nice against Berserkers. I love this thing. Against Berserkers, took me 3 shots to the torso, trying to aim at the head. I didn't notice any difference. I don't know if you guys have tried it. Maybe you guys have one-shot it. Let me know, but it took me 3 shots. So same thing when it came to the Devastators, and I'm talking about all Devastators, Shield Jet Devastators, the Rocket Devastators. It all took me 4 shots. Again, I think it could be because I'm not aiming for the direct impact for the head. I'm just trying to hit the body, but I think if you hit the head, it should take around 2 shots. Okay, so now onto the Hulk. So for whatever reason, I know you can kill a Hulk with this thing, because I've killed a damn Hulk with the Agitator, the BR-14. Funnily enough, I know that thing is trash, but the Crossbow, I was just trying to shoot just strictly for the Hulk's eye. I even stunned it, and for whatever reason I would hit it once in a while, but there were times where I would hit it and I just would get that shield ricochet icon, and it was just not working against this thing. And like I said, you can kill this thing if you shoot it on the back, but I didn't try it. I apologize. This thing was just taking forever to do, but honestly I think this thing would take around probably 12 bolts. Alright guys, so now we're on to the Gunships. So with the Gunships, again, I was hitting the thing, but I kept getting the icon, the ricochet icon. So it does not work against them. I have a feeling it might if you have multiple people shooting at it, just because it was hard for me to test because I'm doing it solo. So it was not working every time I would shoot it, and then you would just constantly get hit by their missiles. So I do not recommend this against the Gunships at all. Okay, on to the last 2 enemies, that being the Automaton Tower and the tanks. So it was the same exact thing with these. It did not work. Again, I think it's because it's not heavy armor penetrating, but it was not working against it. It just doesn't show any impact when you're shooting the vents, so don't even try it against them. And also, a little side thing I forgot to mention is this thing does not work against the fabricator buildings, so a little sad considering it is an exploding weapon. And also guys, I didn't get to try it against the walking fabricator, the big guys, just because I've only actually ran into one of those on Helldive, and let me tell you, I tried it. I tried killing the thing with the damn anti-material rifle, and I got fucking, I'm telling you, I got fucking slapped around by that thing. That thing is tough. So whenever those things are fully released, I will actually do a review on them and how to kill them. So yeah, my bad. Okay guys, so overall, what do I think of this weapon? So I've already said it multiple times, but crowd control, this thing is king. It is amazing. However, against bugs, I understand a lot of people will probably agree with me. This thing is very good against bugs because of the blast radius. It takes out 4 or 5 enemies on impact, which is insane. But you do run into the friendly fire, and you can kill yourself if you aim it a little low. So if you have hunters jumping at you, that is where it's tough. So it's hard for me to choose this, honestly, instead of the incendiary shotgun, because the incendiary shotgun is just king against bugs in my opinion. But it is a really good weapon to have, especially for long range, because the incendiary shotgun has a damage drop off, and this thing does not. So you can shoot bugs from so far away and it'll work every time, and it has the blast radius all the time. Okay, and against automatons, this is where this thing is a little flat to me personally. Against all the smaller enemies, it is really good, but I found the issue that I kept running into the heavy armored enemies, especially on higher leveled rounds. So I was just a little frustrated and relying on my support weapon more than I should. And yeah, that was the only issue I had when it came to heavily armored enemies. I was just kind of rolling my eyes because I was like, I don't want to use this thing right now. Against all the smaller guys, it was so good. Against the Devastators, Rocket Devastators, Hulks, tanks, I was just having a hard time. I feel like this weapon alone is worth it for the Democratic Detonation. I know in my last video I did do a breakdown review if you should buy it or not, and I pretty much said no if you're new and yes if you're seasoned. So now I'd probably say just for this gun alone I would buy it, because the blast radius is just something different. You guys will have a blast with this thing, definitely, because it's just so fun to use. The sight is clean. It's such a nice weapon. I love it. It's very unique as well. Okay guys, so overall I would definitely probably give this weapon a 7 out of 10. Alrighty guys, I appreciate all of you for staying and watching the whole video. I'm gonna have a really good video on how to prepare for the Illuminates, so stay tuned for that. But yeah guys, stay safe out there and peace out.